The second domain is innovation, where firms in Australia are excellent problem solvers. In other words, I come to the firm, I have a problem. The firm is very, very good at very rapidly coming up with a solution to the problem. But that is not a scalable activity. You know, it's something you do on and off depending on the problem that happens to come into the door. So it's not a very good thing in spite of it solving the problem. Australian firms are also not very good at innovation. Innovation is a strategic work long-term towards to having the capability and the offering that addresses a predetermined set of solutions that matter to many people. So on the whole, Australian firms are good problem solvers and bad innovators. So one of my key recommendations relates to innovation. And innovation is something that firms here need to be better in, and they need to understand what it is. In innovation, in a sense, requires a number of things. The first one is you need to have enablers that makes it possible for you to innovate. You need to have some money, you need to have some physical resources, you need to have some customer relationships, you need to have some possibly brand or processes, and you need to have some competence. Without these things, you can't really innovate. Then when you do start your innovation, you have to ensure that you become very good at creating value through innovation. And you do that in many domains. You do that, as you will see in other areas of this interview. You will do it through science and technology, you will do it through design, you will do it through art, and you will do it through things that are called hermeneutics, which all integrated together with efficiency improving innovations create more value. And then finally, you need to appropriate these values. In other words, if you create a value, you have to ensure that the next guy in your value chain does not take all that value, but that you appropriate some of it for yourself. And you do that by maximizing the relevance of what you produce from your customer's point of view and having a smart business model that enables you to appropriate those values created. And firms here needs to be much, much better in this domain. And part of that responsibility, ultimately, almost all of it, rests on the firm. But some of it also rests on things like universities in order to enable the firm to have access to the knowledge and be provided the capability in terms of competence to do these things.